Hello, welcome to Lakeside Round 7 of Velocity Racing League's Australian Touring Car Championship. On the grid for race 13 of the series. We'll take a look at our starting grid for this one. We're 3 minutes away from the start of the race. Sam Sargason took pole position, followed by Alex McEwen, Carl Fando, Daniel Scicluna, Josh Hill, then Nash, Murdock, John Elliott, Nick Mello, Jack Callister and Adam Betts. And then Ronald Williams, Lee Childs, Phil Fergs, Paddy Donnelly, Jarno Smolner, Max Spivey, Will Lambeth, Mike Crick, Ricky Butler, Mark Trenery, and then Jack Meredith at the back of the grid. Dana McKeegan's in there. So here's a very colourful starting grid for today's race. We'll take a look at our championship standings running into this. Daniel Scicluna, who sits there in 4th position. I think someone's just left out of 3rd. Carl Fando's disappeared. But he's our championship leader by 30 points over Paddy Donnelly, who you can see is a fair way back. The VRL's not having a great time around this circuit. Balance have been tipped a little out of their favour. Paddy Donnelly 2nd, Jack Callister 3rd, Nick Mello, Riley Smith, Sam Sargason in 6th. That's our pole sitter for today. He's on 634 points. Just a fair way back from the lead of 1,013. There's some fairly big gaps, apart from the top two. It's fairly spread out in that top 10 or so. So almost set to go for this one. Lakeside, quick truck preview. See these cars are going to head down into a little kink before the first corner, heavy braking, hairpin bend. 2-part corner pretty much. In fact, they're 2 distinct corners. Then up over the rise at turn 3, cars will get light over that under the Dunlop Bridge, and cars are very much on edge all the way through. And then up to Hungary's corner, long hill, rising up to the apex of the second last corner, and then down straight. One last sweeping bend. Back to the start. 2-mile circuit. And we've got 25 laps ahead of us today. 1.5-mile circuit, I should say. Okay, here comes the lights. McEwen on the right. And he gets the better jump over Sam Sargason. Down to the first corner now. And Sargason's still there. He's looking up the inside. He's going to grab the lead of the race through the first corner. And Carl Fando's getting in there as well, but he's been tagged, I think, by Nash Murdock, as they're all piling up, coming out of the first corner. And safety car's out. Safety car's not coming out for 27 seconds apparently, being penalty locked, as happens at the start of the race. But anyway, wild start, and as usual, people just seem to keep piling into one another. Maybe a bit more heads-up driving needed. So Sargason holds the lead of the race, having lost it off the line. There we go. Alex McEwen In second, Josh Hill has worked his way up to third. And then Cicluna, Murdock, Mello, Betts in seventh, Callister and Childs, and then Meredith. A very different looking front view with Nissan, a Volvo, BMW, and then another Nissan. A Toyota's in there. There's another Volvo, and then there's a Mazda in the top 10 as well. So the great equaliser in this round, and you'd think Oran Park as well. Mike Crick has left, and he's joining... No, he's dropping down the timing tower. It's a crazy start to this one. Caught up in that accident was Carl Fando, who is, well, he's off the timing tower. That's how far back he is. It's only a 23 car field, or 22 car field for this evening. And Fando's at 21st at the moment. So, back of the field because Mike Crick isn't. Well, no, he's back in the server. So something must have gone on there with... No, he's not anymore. Okay, bizarre. Anyway, we'll probably get one more lap. Yeah, there we are, confirmation. And then Sam Tagace will lead the field round to the green. He's trying to get those tyres warmed up, sliding all over the place. He nearly lost control of the skyline. Lee Childs leaps up the standings, which makes me slightly concerned. He actually sits 5th. And Dana McKeague is on the side of the road. And there's a big gap. Janos Mulder has got a big gap to Ricky Butler. I'm not quite sure why that's the case. There might have been a coming together between those guys. Safety car's going to just pull off to the right. And the field is fairly strung out towards the mid to back end. But gathering up now behind Sam Tagace and Skyline. We'll watch on board from Alex McEwen as Sam will hit the loud pedal any moment now. There he goes. Through the last corner. Back on to restart this race. Now, a bit further back, Nick Mello is up the inside of Nash Murdock's car well off the road. It's Will Lambeth, who's gone into the tyre barrier and then back into the middle of the track with John Elliott vaulting over him. Enormous accident. Will Lambeth was out very wide coming through that first kink and hit the tyre barrier there, which ricocheted him straight back into the middle of the track. Yeah, it's an old school track, this one. But Mello did get past Murdock, and he's now looking on the back of Dennis Cicluna, who's not far off Josh Hill either. There's a move on up ahead, Cicluna on the inside, and he's rotated it. So he's tapped the back of the car there and half rotated it, lost a position out of it. Nick Mello's gotten past and now challenging Josh Hill for 3rd place. Coming towards Hungary's Corner, which is easily my favourite corner name on the circuit. Hill was It's a little bit wide, but not as much as Jack Meredith. And already, we're beginning lap 6. Short lap, 55 seconds this one. There's a car in the middle of the field bouncing all over the place. It's Phil Fergs, who bounced off of Jack Meredith's car. And he's in a battle with Ronald Williams. Oh, a little bit of a punt from behind Ronald Williams, and Jack Meredith's been escorted around. Tries to get back going again on the inside of the track, and does so in 18th position, so dropped a fair amount out of that. So Cluner on the back of Nick Mello, incredibly bumpy entry to this corner. And then up to the rise. Meanwhile, it's on at the front because Sam Sargason and Alex McEwen are only half a second apart to the first corner. Trying to keep an eye on two battles here. Sam Sargason looked to be closing in on Alex McEwen. Now down into Hungary's corner. Under the Dunlop Bridge. Nick Mello is all out of control sideways. Under the bridge. Managed to gather it up. It disadvantaged Josh Hill a little bit, who's got Jack Callister now. Or pretty much everyone coming around him. Nash Murdock as well. And Cicluna leads that battle pack. 5 cars in this battle for third. There's been some words exchanged between some of the drivers in here, and there's less respect being given. Let's say that much. But Sargason and McEwen have no beef, and they're going first and second, 0.3 of a second between them. And I'm just watching every time it gets lower than 0.3. Chance for a move here for Alex McEwen. Looks up the inside at the first corner. Back it off a little bit at the second. He doesn't... Oh, I don't think he's going to get the run he needs. So Gason will stay ahead for the moment. Max Spivey's had an accident. He's tumbling down the field. At the second corner, he's gotten going again. 15th place for him. He's dropped about, I think, 6 positions off that. As we watch the Polaroid Volvo. Prancing Moose Team Volvo. Try and chase down the skyline. Betts has crashed as well. Car number 44 down to 18th. And still going. So he's at the back, at the tail of the field now. Jack Meredith's gotten involved in an accident as well, while we watch this enthralling battle for the lead of the race. We're about halfway done. Car stepped out from underneath Sam Sargason there. So many bumps and the elevation change to contend with. Sargason's wide, and McEwen will slide through quite simply. To the lead of the race for Alex McEwen in the Volvo. And Sam Sargason absolutely kicking himself over that one. Go back a little further, here's Nick Mello, Jack Callister and Nash Murdock over 4th position. Actually, the closer battle's going on between Callister and Murdock. The flip-up headlights are on in that Toyota. Here it is from the cockpit. I think it's the least powerful car, the Toyota, well, apart from the Mazda. This Group A field. You can still see he needs to battle it a bit. .55.029 I think that was for Alex McEwen. 1.7 seconds the gap between him and Sargason, so he's pulling out a lead. Doing it quite nicely. Paddy Donnelly is in the wall he is on the other side of the racetrack. Well, that's an interesting one. He's gonna try and leap it back on. I think... Hang on, he can go straight. He can go straight. There you go, straight back onto the track for Paddy Donnelly. Wow, that was bizarre. So he somehow ended up on the other side of the wall. He's probably found a gap in the fence and he's tried to get going again. He's now under blue flags conditions. Never mind the fact that this is pretty big for the championship. The fact that he's managed to find his way out there. We're getting into the latter stages, only 2 rounds after this. And there's a 30-point margin going into this round, with Cicluna leading. He sits 3rd in this race. So it could be a big blow to his championship. Adana McKee is all out of control. It looked like he was going for a move on Ronald Williams, but now he has to try and re-enter the racetrack. Oh, don't go that way, Sonny Jim, you'll lose your lap. And down the timing tower he will tumble. Sargason's closed the gap to about a second with McEwen, and Elliott is 5/10 behind Max Spivey as they roll down the back straight. For 12th position this battle. A beautiful new livery on this car. May have been inspired by something. Rolls up over the top of the hill. All out of shape is... well, even more out of shape is Betts, who's well off on the side of the road. But Max Spivey wasn't in great shape coming over the crest. And Elliott looking to pounce. Ronald Williams is the car... No, it's not. Dunne McKeague is the car just ahead. As I said. Timing problem. So he actually sits in 12th. Oh, needs to be careful over those bumps. Just Max Spivey lost the car. Lost all control of the car. Move looked like it was on down the main straight, but nothing eventuated. Oh, so much opposite lock applied by Max Spivey there. Might just be getting a little bit frustrating for Elliott, and he's got the opportunity now, gets past up into what's actually 13th position. Here's the lead of the race, lap 18 of 25. Alex McEwen is leading Sam Sargason by not by much, because Sargason's closed the gap significantly. It was out over about 2 seconds earlier on, but Sargason's within striking distance again. Here's Jack Callister and Nash Murdock for 5th place. It's great to see these lower powered cars coming into their own a bit. They're turning for the majority of the lap here, and it's really playing to the advantage of people like Nash Murdock, Lee Childs and the Mazda. And the BMWs are doing alright as well. So much closer now. Might have a chance coming down the main straight if he can keep the power down. No, the V8 and the VK is too much. And pulls away down the straight. Getting so much closer in the corners though. Might have a chance down at the corner at the end of this back straight. Well, it's not really straight. Oh, that's Jack Meredith off on the right-hand side. Looks like he's had it coming together with Nick Mello. That'll be a lapping incident. And he's not doing very well, starting from the back. And he's only managed to make his way into 17th, or 18th position actually, because of McKee's timing problem. Still keeping an eye on this battle for 5th position, which, running out of time, is Nash Murdock. 3 to go next time by. He's right up the back. Just has to wait for a mistake. It looks like Nash had a bit of a mistake himself, because he's dropped well off the back of Callister. He's usually very close through these last couple of corners. So he gets a decent exit and then loses it all down this main straight. So unfortunately the little Supra doesn't work quite as fast. See how violent the bumps are coming into that corner. Chance for a move here at the final corner. He's got an overlap. Is it going to be enough? He can just hold it there. No. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch. This could be his chance. No. Callister's got the inside line there. He'll have one last opportunity. Meanwhile, Alex McEwen is streaking away at the front. 1.1 seconds to Sam Sargason. And then Daniel Cicluna pick up a handy number of championship points in 3rd. Nick Mello's been caught up in a bit of traffic, it seems. And these two are going to have to negotiate it as well. Oh, very close to contact. And in fact, Butler's well off the road. And into the wall in the background. Murdock's taken the opportunity. It's not done with yet. Alex McEwen's going to come across the line and win the race further up the road. Big slide for Jack Callister. Murdock up the inside. He's going for it. Dive at the last corner. It's going to be very close at the stripe. And he's going to get in. Right at the very end for 5th place. After a battle that seemed to go on forever, Nash Murdock has picked up 5th place. Alex McEwen wins the race. Sam Sargason, who's this round has been very strong for him so far, getting pole and then 2nd in this race. In 2nd position, Dennis Cicluna, Nick Mello, Nash Murdock, Jack Callister, Carl Fando, Lee Childs, Phil Fergs, Josh Hill, John Elliott, and then Ronald Williams. Max Spivey, Janos Molnar, and then Will Lambeth, Mark Trenery, Adane McKeague, and Adam Betts, Jack Meredith, Ricky Butler. Further down, I think we had some retirements. We had Paddy Donnelly, who did end up finishing 21st of all, and Mike Crick did finish as well. So I think he managed to get 75% in. to double check that. Well on to Alex. We've still got one more race, he'll start from the back. Okay, we'll be back for race 2, race 14 of the championship, very shortly, so stick around. Welcome back. 3.5 minutes to go until race 2. Now, interesting point. Paddy Donnelly will start from the pole. We usually see in these reverse grid races, the leader can streak away, fair away. And ends up leading a fair portion of the race. Now, Paddy Donnelly is obviously extremely quick. He's second in the championship. So if he can hold out for as long as he can, he's got a pretty good chance of winning this one. That is if the VRL doesn't give up on him. They haven't been fantastic this round. But we will see. He's yet to join the server, I've noticed. 2 minutes to go. So your starting grid is Donnelly, Butler, Meredith, Betts, McKeague, then Trenery, Lambeth, Molnar, Spivey, Williams, Elliott, Hill, Fergs, Childs, Fando, Callister, Murdock, Mellows, Cluner, Sargason, McEwen, Crick, and that's it. 22 cars in this field, which is probably a good thing, to be honest, that it's slightly smaller for these sorts of tracks. Next race is next weekend at Oran Park, and it's our last race before Bathurst, which is the last race in itself. So the penultimate race, let's say that. That probably sounds better. Yeah, getting to the end of this season. And especially with the results of last race, there's now a big swing in favour of Daniel Cicluna in the championship. Paddy Donnelly does start on pole for this one though, and could have a real chance of recouping some of that. Alex McEwen starts at the back. Well, actually Mike Crick starts at the very back since he didn't quite complete 75% of the race. But Alex McEwen is there with Cicluna and Sargason. Ricky Butler on your right. Paddy Donnelly on the left. Lights are on. Wayne Racing. Donnelly's definitely got the jump there. And Meredith is already challenging Butler. Up into the first corner. It's going to be clean. Let's hope so. Through the first turn, they're all staying out of each other's way. Will Lambeth has rotated around and he manages to wind out of the way. Ronald Williams hasn't. Max Spivey is off as well, and we're once again, feels like deja vu. Should probably just add 2 more laps to this anyway. Will Lambeth kind of, did he rotate around on? I'm sure it stopped on his own. Maybe a bit of netcode or something, but it didn't look like there was any contact from my admittedly poor eye.
safety car will be in this lap.
Nicholas Gregg is going to move his safety car out of the way, straight off to the right and into the pit lane. Paddy Donnelly leads, Jack Meredith in second, and then Butler third as they come up to the restart around the top of the course. And down the hill. Puts the V8 power to the floor, not yet. Still holding, and there he goes in the middle of the last corner. And Jack Meredith is absolutely napping. Ricky Butler is not really taking advantage of it either, but Mark Trenery is. He gets past Josh Hill. Did he get past before the line? Or was he already there? Now, not sure. Into the first corner, and Josh Hill is going to get up the inside into fourth position. And Carl Fando is going to slip past Trenery as well. Up and over the top of the hill. Ricky Butler is around. He's going to be in the middle of the pack, is he? Oh, he's managed to pick up one car and is now flying through the floor. Janos Molnar was the car involved in that, but it looks like everyone else has gotten out fairly okay. Paddy Donnelly continues to lead the race, 2.3 seconds to Jack Meredith. Josh Hill now in third in the BMW. Callister's already up to 6th place. Sargason up into 10th and McEwen 12th. Where's Daniel Cicluna? He is still 19th. So I think he's been caught up in an accident as well that was on off screen. As now, bumping and barging. Josh Hill gets up the inside of Jack Meredith. They're still side by side as they come over the top of the hill. Carl Fando's waiting there. And he picks up the scraps coming around the outside of Josh Hill. And Jack Meredith's actually wide, so he'll pick up that position as well. Carl Fando just like that into second position. Look at the amount of cars that have forming a train behind Josh Hill. Lee Childs is there, so is Meredith, Callister Mello and McKeague's at the end of it. And not too far behind is Sargason as well. Pass on, potentially, for Meredith. Can't quite keep it clean enough to get it done. McKeague is out wide and he's lost a position as a result of it. And look at this big group of cars playing with fire as he come across under the bridge. Paddy Donnelly is opening up a gap of 4.2 seconds out in front on lap 6 of race 14. And he sets a fast lap as well of 56.3. Carl Fando goes even quicker by 1.3 seconds, so Carl Fando seriously catching up. He's looking for this race win. Nick Mello and Sam Sargason ran side by side there. Out into the grass was John Elliott. as everyone muscles and tries to find a bit of room on what's a fairly tight racetrack, and one where you're so grip limited over the back section. Here's Nick Mello looking around the outside of Sargason. Lost control of the car ever so slightly there. There's the sound of locking brakes. Slight tap. Need to be brave to do it over that part without taking out the guy ahead. Childs is past Hill, further up. So Hill's had a mistake, and look at the amount of cars behind Jack Meredith here. And they're going to gobble up Josh Hill. How close Callister is in his Holden to the next Holden. 54.9 for Carl Fando, he's smashing it. 1.2 seconds the gap out in front as well. Callister goes for a big dive up the inside of Jack Meredith. They make contact and Callister is half turned around and he's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions out of that. A 6th one to Max Spivey and down into 11th. Meanwhile, there's all sorts of chaos going on with Jack Meredith. He was slow out of turn 3. Must have been caught up in an accident. Carl Fando is absolutely on fire. As much as I hate to cut away from what's simply madness going on in that mid-pack, here's the battle for the lead of the race. 0.6 of a second and Carl Fando is seriously gaining. A couple of years older is the VK, but that won't stop him. Not around here. Max Spivey and Sam Sargason as well, they're both dropping down the field significantly, so that's a pretty big deal, with Sargason having won the pole and second in the first race, and the second race isn't quite going to his advantage. Paddy Donnelly, as you can see up ahead, leads the race, maybe not for much longer if Carl Fando has anything to say about it, but Dennis Cluner, his championship rival, is 13th. And on the back of Phil Fergs, and he's in that, well, almost in that train. Alex McEwen's got a 1 second gap to Murdock. And Fando's going to make the move down at the first corner. He gets it done. So Fando now will drive away with the lead of the race. Murdock and McEwen are both in an accident. And they have to let a big train of cars through. We'll see what's going on further back, as it seems to have calmed down slightly. I say that, it looks like the battle's moved further to the middle of the pack. Phil Fergs here on the back of Cluner, our championship leader. And Jack Meredith is there in 9th. Meredith and Cicluna battling. Oh, he comes across and he's just gone off to the right hand side as Jack Meredith gained control of the car. Phil Fergs is going to take advantage of it. Did he just come straight across Cicluna? What happened there? That was odd. Anyway, Secluna's still in 10th position after that. So he's gained the position from Jack Meredith but lost it to Phil Fergs. He's having a good round in the BMW 635. Josh Hill in the other BMW is in 4th. Fergs and Secluna. Still side by side. There's a slight overlap, then now been diminished by Secluna, who's going to roll away in his R31 Skyline under the bridge now. And he's got 9th place pretty much as a lock. Josh Hill's had another moment. I'd suggest he's running wide coming out of Hungry Corner. And losing a couple of positions that way. Jack Meredith is sideways. And he's facing perpendicular to the track. He needs to be careful about coming back on because there is Max Spivey right there. Having a shocker, 20th position. And McKeege's run off wide, so Josh Hill will get up the inside of him. And now Jack Callister wants a piece of the Toyota. John Elliott, I have to say, I haven't noticed it, but he's doing very well in the Volvo in 5th place. Lee Childs is 3rd in the Mazda, and it's a fair way into the reverse grid race. There's only 10 to go after this one. And he's actually very close to Nick Mello. Look from the back of the Fubs Unionised coffee machine. Go a little bit further up because Lee Childs is on the back of Paddy Donnelly. And he's still on for a podium position. Paddy Donnelly is struggling with those VL tyres. And he might have a better time of things come Bathurst, but yeah, not much to look forward to with Lakeside this week and Oran Park next week. Even Bathurst is pretty high dig as well. Here's Lee Childs, right on the back, who's really taking advantage of this round. It's a strong suit for the Mazda. Immense cornering ability, well on par with what you'd expect in Group A, despite it being a lower tier car. Once again, it's similar to the VK versus Toyota battle we saw before. Whether it'll stretch on the entire race, we're not sure. In fact, it won't, because Lee Childs has just danced around the outside of Paddy Donnelly and straight up into 2nd position. But keep an eye out, because Nick Mello and Josh Hill and John Elliott are all closing, with McKeegan and Callister there as well. So great to see the lower powered cars getting a chance at placing high. Across the line, Fando leads from Childs, Donnelly, and then Mello, Hill, Elliott, McKee, Callister, Secluna, then Ferg, Sargason, McEwen, Molnar, Murdock, Williams, Betts, Crick, Trenery, Spivey and Butler. Lap 18 of 25. Cal's just spent most of his night battling Toyotas, it seems. He goes up the inside of this one. It's Sedona McKeegan, and he's got him through the first corner. But McKeegan's going to switch back on him and get him back onto the back straight. How many backs can you fit in a sentence? Still running incredibly close, nose to tail. Alex McEwen having problems, and he's gotten it going again. Ronald Williams named also flash red. Whether it's related, I'm not sure. And Callister moves up the inside of McKeegan. Is it going to be the same story as last time? No, it's not, because McKeegan got too much curb there in the second corner, and that will mean he'll lose 7th position for good for now, as Mulder and Murdock run side by side for 12th place. Yarnos also doing very well. It's really, the form guide's been thrown out the window this weekend. Except Carl Fando, he's looks to be on to take, I believe it's his 2nd win this season. He had one in Adelaide. Watching Josh Hill and Nick Mello. Only a couple of car lengths between them. Moves to the outside. Does Hill? He's going to be able to hold it all the way around there. I don't think he is. Got to be careful trying to get the power on. John Elliott is right there as well in this battle for 4th. And moving across to the right hand side of the track is Josh Hill. Nick Mello cuts across him. And now Hill breaks late to the outside. Is he going to be able to hold? If he can hold it all the way around there, he'll have the inside for this little kink, and that'll be of great advantage to him. And he's got it. So Hill into 4th. Mello and Elliott are now going to engage in battle, you'd think, as we're getting towards the end of the race. Three more times around, and Carl Fando has a 7-second margin now over Lee Childs, 10 seconds over Paddy Donnelly, and 12 seconds over Josh Hill. But he's got bigger problems at the moment because Nick Mello and John Elliott are there. It's actually starting to drift off slightly. But still, if Josh Hill does make a mistake, which we've seen a lot of drivers make mistakes tonight. Such a physical, demanding track, this one. Elliott chases Mello all the way across the road. Two to go. Daniel Cicluna is down into 10th place. He's on the back of Sam Sargason. There might be some championship significance in this one. So we'll keep one eye on him. John Elliott is losing the car almost. One lap to go. And Hill's on the back of Paddy Donnelly as well. So it may be yet another position. Or can Paddy Donnelly hold on to a podium place? It'll seriously help his championship chances if he can. Just 0.3 of a second between Elliott and Mello. Hill's out sideways. I don't know if he's going to get there. It's the most demanding part of the track on the tyres, this section. Carl Fando is coming down to the last corner, and he's going to take the victory. But the battle is still on for the last podium position. Hill is right there, looking around the outside. Could be on. Is he going to get the power down properly? Or will the VL beat him to it? It's going to be Paddy Donnelly who takes third position by less than 1/10 of a second. And that could be very significant in the tail between him and Daniel Cicluna, who finished 10th in the end. Mike Crick and Alex McEwen are having a battle as well. They both run off wide. Into the wall goes Mike Crick, and he's hit the little escape road. It's a barrier that's facing the track, basically. And he's now sideways in 17th position. He's got to try and get it out and get it going. I think that tyre is... yeah, that's freewheeling in the ground, so I don't think he's going to make it to the line. Oh, man. Mike Crick. No way. I think he is still going to finish 17th. I'm not sure. It'll depend on who's a lap down and who's not. It'll be the... yeah, wow. That's quite the story, isn't it? Mike Crick doesn't quite make it to the end. Carl Fando wins the race from Lee Childs. Paddy Donnelly in third. Joshua Hill fourth. Nick Mello, John Elliott, Adana McKeegan, then Jack Callister, Sam Sargason, Daniel Cicluna, followed by Phil Fergs, Nash Murdock, Janis Molnar, Adam Betts, Alex McEwen, Ronald Williams, Mike Crick, Mark Trennery, Max Spivey, Ricky Butler in 20th, and then Jack Meredith. Didn't finish the race. I didn't even clock that. Yeah, he hasn't finished the race. Neither is Will Lambeth. So that's the end of the Lakeside round, which still remains my favourite ATCC round. It is a must-do, and it's great fun. Producing fantastic racing, as always. Next week, we're at Oran Park. It's the second last race of the season, and Daniel Cicluna will now hold a fairly hefty advantage. But we'll see if he can hang on to that all the way to Bathurst. Okay. we will see you next week for that race. Until then, bye for now.